Hey everyone, James Labrie from Dream Theater, and you're listening to or watching the podcast Talking Into Infinity with JT and Brian. Enjoy this. These guys are extremely informative. I love their dialogue. I love their interpretation of the songs, who and what we are, what we were going after. They're very accurate in their interpretations and descriptions, and I just think this is a great show, and these guys are doing a stand-up stellar job. So once again, enjoy Talking Into Infinity with JT and Brian.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Talking Into Infinity, a Dream Theater-centric podcast. I am your host, John. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, talkingintoinfinity.com, and the CMS network. Let me think. Tonight, it would be the locals pages. The locals pages? A couple of those things. We're on the CMS pages, but just not Rumble tonight. Aiken's hogging up the bandwidth. I got important stuff to talk about. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But in any case, we're at those locations every other Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you have not done so, and you are watching on YouTube, please click the like button, click the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so that you are notified every time we go live. And guys, special announcement, just a reminder, we do have our annual fan hangout show going on Friday, December 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you would like to jump on screen and co-host with Brian and I, for those of you guys who are not familiar, that is a free-for-all, free-form conversation episode. We just talk about whatever you guys want to talk about musically, and usually goes a few hours. We have some drinks and just have a really good time. So if you would like to co-host on screen with Brian and I that night, just email us. It's pretty simple, talkingintoinfinity@gmail.com, and you can jump on screen and we'll just have a blast and celebrate the holidays together. So without further ado, since it is spooky season, here's the spookiest looking guy I know. So try not to get scared. He is my incredible friend and co-host, Mr. Brian Hendrickson. What is up, man? How's it going?
You know, this is going to be a really short show because there's really not a lot to talk about. Like, nothing happened. I just kind of want to say happy Halloween to everybody, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
All right. That's no carpe diem.
Sums it up. Yeah, I mean, really nothing going on. Like, you know, it's the Dream Theater world. They're pretty quiet. It's really nothing to talk about, right?
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. Nothing much happened. Nothing going on here. But
when did you finally go to sleep? You said it was like Sunday night. You finally crashed. Like, you had to be on a high from that whole experience.
Yeah, like I do have a review of something I want to get to real quick before we get to my weekend there with those guys too.
Okay.
But a few people here in the chat. Good to see Aaron Taft. Says nice fall evening here in Illinois. It's been raining and crappy here all day. So great to see you, man. Samantha Gangadine, great to see you as always. Says hi, John. Got to remember, Sam, no H in John. No H in John. Zauber in 96, great to see you tuning in, man. Speaking of exhausted, Kale McLeish, what's up, man? He says, my body hates me. I went to bed exhausted last night, slept from around 10:45 p.m. to about 3:30 a.m., then hit a quick nap about an hour ago. Sounds like my trip to Columbus. Chastity Crawley's tuning in. Great to see you guys, man. Thanks for checking out the show. Yeah, I actually did sleep somewhat on that trip, but it was not easy. It was, and we'll definitely get to that. It was that trip was just absolutely surreal. But first, I just wanted to give a quick review of something that I'm listening to and that I watched. So I'm trying to remember what the actual documentary is called. But it's that new Ozzy Osbourne documentary that just came out on Paramount Plus. And it's about like the last several years of his life. It's called No Escape from Now. And so it's streaming on Paramount Plus. But I'm also listening to his final book. It's called Last Rites, and he finished it 2 weeks before he passed. So I guess he finished it like right after the Back to the Beginning show.
Oh wow.
So I'm listening to the audiobook and it's excellent. It's not just it starts in like 2018, but it's not just his health problems and stuff, which I mean that's one thing. But there's a whole lot of stories in there as well about people that, famous people who knew and things he did. So it's, it's very interesting. And the health stuff obviously is sad, but there's a lot of humor to it because he talks about, Lemmy and all these other people and all this goofy stuff he did. So really good. And my wife and I watched the documentary on Paramount Plus yesterday. And I do have to admit, Aiken watched it and he goes, "That is the most depressing thing I have ever watched." And I have to admit that it's a little sad.
Because it goes back the last 10 years roughly, or
yeah, I think it's 2018 again. It was, I mean, because they don't have the space in the documentary to put in the funny parts and the stories and kind of,
right.
it's really Ozzy just, beat to shit. And there are some cool stuff like when he did, this, some stuff with Andrew Watt and, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. But man, it's really, and especially near the end, it gets emotional when he's talking about, the Back to the Beginning show and he's getting ready for it and stuff like that. Cause it's like, it'll show the date. It'll be like, like 2 months before the Back to the Beginning show. And you're like, God damn. So basically he's got less than 3 months to live. Like, and you have this in your head and it's just, oh my God. And it does get really emotional because, you can tell how much it means to him and how beat up he really, really was. And
I wonder if it's almost like it's all kind of planned, like once I just got to sort of knock this out and then it's, I can go ahead and rest type of a deal,
It really was. And
yeah,
Kale saw it. He says, "Oh yeah, it was fantastic. No Escape from Nowhere needs to be seen if you're any kind of an Ozzy fan. It feels like a continuation from Ozzy and Jack's World Detour, but depressing AF." Yeah. I mean, dude, I think what's really sad is that, I mean, there's, it's quite clear, how close he and Sharon really were. Not that we didn't already know that, but it's like you actually get to see it instead of just hear about it. And they're talking a few days before the Back to the Beginning show, and he's like, "Yeah, it's time to be done. Like, I want to have a life. I want to come back here and live out the rest of my life with Sharon and just us be together." And when you think about it, it's like they had 17 days. And not even a full 17 days, So
what was the last live show before that then? That was back before 2018 then? Was it that long or?
No, because he was in the middle of like the No More Tours 2 when he had to start canceling dates, and then the pandemic hit and everything like that. So it was basically like one-off stuff. Like he did Paranoid with Tony Iommi at like I think what it's called, the Goodwill Games or something over in England.
Okay. But I mean, as far as full-blown tour, then yeah, you are talking almost 7 years.
Yeah.
Before the pandemic, then yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I mean, it's sad, but it's also, it kind of humanizes Ozzy, which, I'm a big fan of. And the book is really, really good. So I would highly recommend both of those. So just a little something I'm checking out. But yeah, so yeah. Fan hangout December 19th, 7:30. If you guys want to jump on, talkingintoinfinity@gmail.com, let us know. Otherwise, yeah, a few things going on in the world right now of Dream Theater. Number one, Johan Alexanderson says that he's late because of San Diego traffic. So now everyone's bitching about California traffic in the chat. And I can confirm it is god awful. So yeah. So all right. Well, where do we start? I saw Dream Theater. And I went with Wayne. And it was amazing. So I have a few thoughts right off the rip, and feel free to ask questions. I will say right off the rip that the coolest part of the trip was getting to know Wayne. And by the way, everyone's commenting on your cup being invisible.
It is green. That's pretty hilarious. I didn't even know it until
I was
Kale
gonna
said.
say it's gotta be green or blue, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah, Kale, thank you for reminding me. I'll mention that. We called Kale late at night and he got the shit scared out of him by Wayne. But
nice.
Yeah. So yeah. So it was really cool getting to know Wayne because it's like, we message a lot on Facebook and whatnot, and he says, "Oh, I'm working on this project or this project and stuff like that." And it's always been like, hey, he's in the music business and I do a podcast, but I'm a musician and I love music stuff. So it's kind of that. So to actually go and hang out with him was really, really cool.
Do we know if it was as cool for him or?
Yeah, no, dude. I mean, dude, he texted me several times after we both got home, and he was still on cloud nine about it, dude. It was.
I'm only saying that because we talked before about you get somebody you don't know that well,
yeah,
and you only talk online or whatever, just like a girlfriend or something you meet, and it's like, oh, we're gonna go spend the whole weekend together. Like right from the rip, that's kind of like. You had to be a little bit nervous about that. Let's be honest, right? Like you don't want to annoy the guy.
Well, exactly. I'm glad you said that because it's like it's not me. I'm not worried about. Oh, I hope this guy doesn't annoy me.
Right.
It's like no. I hope I don't piss this guy off.
Exactly. Right.
Because I could be kind of energetic with things like this.
Like kind of. Okay.
Yeah. So you are very aware. And in my defense, when I hang out with you, I'm very reserved because I know you're very mellow. So I don't want to just completely blow you out of the room. so let that tell you how I am with other people. But
I'm used to it, man.
Yeah. But yeah, and it was just like we talked so much that weekend about like non-music stuff, and it's just we had so much in common. And it was like, yeah, I agree with that, dude. And another topic, I'm like, holy shit, I agree with that too. Like it was really, really fun. So it was like, not to be a cheese ass, but it was really cool to make a new buddy. It was awesome. I think I got on his good side right away because I stocked our mini fridge with wild cherry Capri Sun, which is
wait, what? That's random.
He loves the shit.
Oh,
and so
you already knew that, obviously.
Yeah. So
okay.
and he didn't ask, could you bring that? But I brought obviously water. I brought some beer, and I got a bottle of Buffalo Trace. So we could just have some drinks in the room. But I got a case of I guess it's called a case. They come in 10 packs or something. And like it was wild cherry because he had said that when that Dream Theater offered him a rider when he came to the tour production rehearsals several months ago, and on his rider he had grape and wild cherry Capri Sun. And so I had joked with him that he got us, he got us tickets and the the VIP badges and the all access stickers and all this kind of thing. And I joked that I can't hook him up with anything. Like, how do I top that? So I was like, well, the least I could do is get his favorite beverage.
Wild cherry Capri. What the hell is he? 5? That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
That's what I said too. I was like, hey man, should I have brought some SpaghettiOs too?
Well, I thought you were gonna say because I could even see okay for something weird I mix it with vodka, something crazy like that. But
I was wondering about that.
Just drinking it straight, huh? That's hilarious.
Yeah, instead of the bourbon, I actually did almost bring vodka because I was like, is he mixing this with something, or is he just actually straight up, going for the Capri Sun? So I did that, and so he thought that was pretty funny. So, but yeah, I mean, it was just cool, getting to know the guy. It was I mean, I'll get into the details of stuff here in a second. But yeah, come to find out he's a huge dog person, so that was cool. He's big into sports and everything, and so we talked a little bit about that, and it was kind of cool. One thing that I don't really discuss ever is Ted Clayton wants to know. He says, "Cool hat, John. What band is it?" It's actually not a band. This is actually a clearance hat that I got at our AA baseball teams. Their stadium this past summer. They're called the Akron Rubber Ducks, but they used to be called the Arrows and something else. And this was on clearance, and it's a fitted hat. It fits my giant head perfectly, and I got it for free. And I'm like, sweet. So yeah, it's a very old baseball team logo.
Was that their original logo from like way back or something?
I think so, but yeah,
Huh.
I mean, it was, yeah, that's a whole nother story. But
Interesting.
but yeah, one thing that I don't ever talk about in public, really, because people don't want to hear this crap that, but I'm actually a born again Christian. I'm very terrible at it, but I am. And so so the show's in Columbus, and where we were staying, we were on one corner of the property where the state capitol house is. And on the opposite corner from us was where the street was with the venue. So it was only a few minute walk, whatever. And that Saturday was that whole, no kings crap going on all over the country. So he and I had, gone and done something that morning, which I'll get to. And as we're walking, he's like, let's go find a bar. Let's go grab a beer. I was like, okay. So we had to walk down the sidewalk around, one of the sidewalks around the Capitol. And we see this group of probably like 30 to 40 people all in red shirts holding signs. And he goes, I'm not walking through that. I'm not doing this. I'm like, I hate it too. I think it's stupid, but there's only a few of them. And we just keep our heads down. We got to go that way. So, but as we get closer, it come to find out it wasn't a no kings thing. It was a whole bunch of people that were doing like a pro Jesus rally. It was like a yay Jesus, just trying to bring some good vibes. You know what I mean? And they were like, oh, hey, God bless you. And like, little known factoid about me, I have like a little itty bitty, like rubber, like mini character guy of Jesus that I carry in my pocket. Somebody gave it to me a while back, and it was like, hey man, God bless you. And I'm like, oh, this is really nice. So I kind of carried it around. It's just the thing with me. So anyway, well, and Wayne was like, this is awesome. And I was like, guys, I got Jesus in my pocket. Yay. So everyone's like, yay, we're doing our Jesus thing, whatever. And as we're walking, Wayne is like, man, that feels like a shot of positive energy. We needed that. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you get into the whole. I'm like, yeah. And we start to come to find out he's a church going guy and Christian guy. So we had that in common. And it's something I never even talk about, but just a whole bunch of great stuff, man. He was just such a nice guy. And we're definitely going to hang out again and not make it just about Dream Theater, and just a great fucking guy. So, all right. So he gets there.
Real quick for you. I mean, I don't want to be negative here, but I've prayed many a times for you to shut the fuck up, and it's never worked. So I got to really question this whole God thing. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
That's because you don't carry a little Jesus in your pocket. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Kale McLeish says that on this trip, John made a new bro. Doug McCauley, great to see you. From across the room, I hear John carries cheeses in his pockets. Nice.
Who wants some Gouda?
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, all right. So Wayne gets there about 8:00-ish. I'd been there for about 2 hours. It's usually about an hour and 45, hour and 50-minute drive for me. But I was a little excited and made it in an hour and 35 minutes. So
Damn, you were flying.
Yeah, I'm glad no one popped me. But so yeah, Wayne gets there and we kind of like freshen up for a second and did a shot, and then we're like, okay, let's go. And so I was going to take him to Thurman Cafe in Columbus, which for those of you guys who don't know, it's a super famous burger joint. It was featured on Man vs. Food. Standard burger there is 3/4 of a pound. They're absolutely fucking killer. And anytime I have friends that are not familiar with the area, I take them to Thurman's because it's just an institution. And I had called for reservations, and they said, ask for oh God, what was the guy's name? Oh well, I got it written down so I can use this later. But ask for so and so and tip him well, and he'll get you in. So we get there about 9:30. We say, yeah, we're looking for this guy. Tip him well. And he goes, yeah. So he cleared a spot at the bar for us because usually got to wait for a table. So mind you, this is a huge ass burger place, right? It's all about burgers. So, and I told him flat out, we're going to this place because the burger. Okay. So we sit down. We're looking at the menu. He orders us a couple of shots and beers. Okay. And the guy, he's like, "You got any questions?" And Wayne goes, "Well, what do you have? Like, what vegan or chicken options do you have?" And I looked at him and I said, "What the fuck is the matter with you? This place is all about burgers, you pussy. What's going on?" And he goes, "Oh, I forgot. I can't eat pork and red meat." I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "Remember my heart surgery?" I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that." For those of you guys who don't know, Wayne had like a massive heart surgery, like I think it was quadruple bypass. And he's only 3 years. He's 3 years younger than I am, so he's not that old. He's in his mid 40s, but this was a couple, like 2 years ago.
Damn.
And so but he didn't tell me. He just figured I was so excited to get one of these burgers, he would just go with it. So poor guy orders this giant chicken sandwich, but he said it was awesome. So yeah, I felt bad right off the rip. I was like, "Dude, why didn't you tell me? There's like any number of food options that we could have had." And
so I haven't been there either. It's not, from what I understand, it's not a real big place inside either, is it?
No, it's small.
Okay.
When I called them, I said, would I be better off trying to get a table in there at between 9 and 9:30 on Friday night, or right when you guys open at 11 on Saturday? And they said definitely 9:30 on Friday. And that's when they said, ask for this dude and tip him well, and you got what kind of VIP. I was like, okay, cool. So we have this burger, and then we're like, okay, cool. And we're like, let's go back to the hotel. We got a busy day tomorrow, and we got some drinks there and everything. So we had a couple more shots and beers at the burger place, and Wayne is not like my drunken ass, and so he doesn't have a huge tolerance. He drinks like a normal person, and so he's feeling it pretty good. And as we're going back to the hotel, somehow it came up about when so this is something you guys don't know. Mike Portnoy popped him on our episode when Mike came back, the breaking news episode that October. Portnoy caught him commenting like, "Hey, I really like the last two albums. I don't know if I'm cool with this," and kind of gave him some grief in a message. And Wayne got it in his head that he's like, "Somebody sold me out. Somebody sold me out, and I think I know who it is." And I was like, "Okay, who do you think it was?" He goes, "I think it was that Kale guy." I was like, "Kale McLeish?" That's like,
as opposed to the other 5 Kales we have.
Exactly. I was like, "Bro, I can officially 100% tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, it is not Kale. It is absolutely not Kale." It's like, "No, man, I don't know who else it would be."
No, wait, I think you need to explain this again, because it's still a little. What exactly are we? Just a real basic breakdown of exactly what happened, because I'm still kind of confused, to be honest.
So, pulling back the curtain.
Yes.
When Wayne and I had been talking around the time that Portnoy came back, right? We were kind of bullshitting about it, and we were like, "This is gonna be fucking cool." And what kind of album they're gonna, and obviously Wayne had worked with them on the previous 2 records,
right?
And so I guess he had messaged Portnoy, and hopefully, dude. Hopefully the guy, I'm not selling anybody out here, but yeah, Kale, this is a real story, by the way. Like, yeah, Kale, I'm not gonna make shit up. I'm not going for clicks here. I'm going for truth. Like, I hate when people do that, man. But so yeah, when Mike came back, Wayne had messaged him on Facebook introducing himself, saying, "Hey, I work with the band. It's awesome to see you back. I'm a huge fan of the band. Like, hopefully we can work together in the future." Okay. And Mike had sent back a screenshot of our episode with Wayne's comment on the bottom of the screen where he said, like, I don't know if I'm a fan of this because I really like the last 2 records. So I'm like, "Oh boy." So he, was kind of nervous about that. But obviously things are smoothed over, and he and Mike are super cool now, and they've done so much work together. So whatever, this minor blip, whatever. But
so somebody got Portnoy the screenshot. There's no way he was watching our show.
Well, but okay. See, that's Wayne's take. But I said, I don't know, man. Mike is very internet aware. You know, he definitely, because he'll comment on the Dream Theater, like the fan Facebook page. Like he'll make a post in there every once in a while. He'll comment every once in a while. So he knows what's going on. And he's very savvy like that. I mean, he's the business guy, he's the promo guy. Yeah, I mean, JG3, I think the same thing is, Portnoy absolutely would watch this show, LOL. And even if he doesn't watch the show, the day that he came back, I mean, it's human nature, dude. If you were in his position, wouldn't you be like paying attention to what everybody's saying to see who's into it, who's not, kind of thing? Like, what's the reaction to this announcement?
But there's 9 million podcasts and shows going on when he came back. I don't know.
Well, but I mean, don't forget, I saw that announcement like damn near the second that it hit.
Right.
And so we were on pretty much, if we weren't first, we were one of the very, 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 very first. So he could have been. I mean, he definitely could have been. So and also because I don't know who would sell him out. I don't know why someone would do that. Like, oh, this guy doesn't like, he's not happy you're back because he likes the other records. Like, I mean, that's a dick move. And even if somebody would do it, I can tell you one person that I would never, ever, 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 ever accuse of doing that, and it would be Kale. So, like,
McLeish?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. And also, dude, I mean, think about it. That was pretty early in the show. Do you think Mike is sitting there reading direct messages from fans going, oh, this guy is fucking ripping on you? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Does he still have that screenshot on his phone? I want to see that.
Yeah, I can ask him.
I would just love to see that, because
but yeah, so
up for a new knife.
Yeah. JG3. Kale sold him out for a new knife. Nice. Yes, Kale, it's an Aussie joke. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Come on, Kale. We've done this so many times. So yeah, and I was like, dude, it's not Kale. And man, one of the things I learned about Wayne is that he's very fervent in his beliefs. So if he has an idea in his head and he's really committed to it, it is difficult to talk him off of that ledge. So I was like, dude, no, it's not. Like, and he wasn't being an ass about it by any means. He wasn't like, it's that fucking Kale guy. I absolutely know that this. No, he was like, dude, it's got to be like, who else? Like, it's like a conversation piece. And finally, I was like, that guy's like 11 hours behind us. Like, let's just call him. So I was like, let's just message him. And I hit him up. I hit up Kale and I was like, hey, I'm sitting here with Wayne and he thinks you sold him out to Portnoy about yada, yada. And all of a sudden a video call comes in from Kale. So we've got him on video. And I was like, all right. So he and Wayne hashed it out, but I think Kale's still a little nervous, but the rest of the weekend, it came up a couple times and he's, he believes him, but he's still a little nervous. I'm like, no, dude, I'm telling you, it was not Kale. Absolutely not. I can unequivocally 150% get his back and say it was not him. Yeah. Look at Chastity. Kale, if you have an in with Mike Portnoy and aren't telling us, how rude. That's awesome. Doug McCauley, yes, he's 11 hours ahead of us. So yeah, so we were drinking in the hotel room and we're talking to Kale and going through a bunch of stuff and yeah, it was just awesome. It was just awesome. So the next morning, we woke up and we're like, all right, do we go get breakfast or something? Or, what do we do? And so we were kind of just like putzing around a little bit. We showered and whatnot. And all of a sudden he's getting text messages. And the text messages were from somebody that we all know. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just hanging around the hotel." And he's like, "Well, I'm going for a walk. You guys want to come?" And they're just like, "Sure." So we walk over to the venue, and let's see here. And we meet up with this guy. So there we are with the wizard himself, Jordan Rudess. And yeah, it was incredible. So we get there, and first we couldn't find him because he said, he was sitting in a different area. And he had left and started walking somewhere. So then we're texting, like, "Where are you?" On the corner. So we're, kind of like playing where's Jordan. But we finally found him, and then we're like, all right, let's just walk. So it was like a solid hour and a half. And we were just walking around, Columbus. We I kept us on like a grid so we could keep a close eye on where the hotel was. So we didn't get too lost or anything. But yeah, he was just like the nicest, most forthcoming guy you could possibly imagine. It was surreal, because we're just sitting there walking around, and he and Wayne are, talking computer stuff. I mean, Jordan is like totally into the AI thing. Like, he's just fascinated by it. So he's using it a lot. He's doing a lot of creative stuff with it. So he was telling us a lot about that. And it was crazy, dude. And it was the first time of the weekend where I had to make sure that I kept my mouth shut, because I'm sure you know this, but for people who don't know me, I am terrible about fanboying when I meet famous people. I don't mean to do it, but I do it. And I'm aware of it. And so basically, as Jordan and Wayne are just walking down the street having a conversation, I'm hanging out with them. As they're saying what they're saying, inside my head, I'm going, "Don't say anything. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. Don't say a word. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up." So, but I did, converse with him and whatnot. And some interesting stuff came out. We talked about, the new live album that's coming out. I'm terrible at the pronunciation of it, like Quarantine Live or something like that. But and I had mentioned, I mean, the production value of it is exceptional to me. I think it's like, I mean, it sounds live, but everything is crisp and kind of stands out. I think it sounds great, and obviously the video looks great, and everything in Wayne's work is in there. And he was telling us a little about that, and why they decided to do it there and things like that. And I mentioned James's voice. I was like, because Wayne's like, "Man, James is on point." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Jordan, like I'm excited to see the show tonight. Everyone's saying that James is just on fire." And he's like, "Yeah." He said he's doing, he's got this new vocal coach, so he confirmed it. He said, he's doing all these weird stretches and exercises and stuff. And he said it's kind of, oh, there he is. There he is. What's up, Wayne, man? How's it going, dude? Wayne Joyner checking in, the man, the myth, the legend, who can't eat pork or red meat and didn't tell me on Friday night. But anyway, yeah. So, and he was saying, like, he's doing these crazy exercises, and he's kind of laughing a little bit. He's like, it's kind of weird to see how he does it, because, he mentioned that if you pay attention to him on stage. "Oh, what's up, Goro Romero? Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to see you." He says it has a live at Budokan kind of vibe. I agree with that. He said, "Hi, everyone, by the way. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for checking in." And he said you'll catch him like doing this, like grabbing his throat, like rubbing his, and it's like, okay. And I did see that a couple of times that night at the show. I was like, interesting. And I know it's like a, basically it's got to be like a massage technique, obviously, but yeah, so it was cool to talk about that. And I do have something I would like to address to the entire Dream Theater community. especially all the whiners who are complaining about the canceled European tour. And yes, I said whiners. What's it called? Gaslighting, when I'm being an asshole to a certain segment of the fan base. Yeah, Jordan confirmed it exactly. So if anybody's like still saying, "Oh no, they're screwing over the fans," or the whole thing is bullshit, like, no. Jordan specifically told us there were never any dates booked, and the reason they even said anything in public at all was because James had made a passing comment at one of the other European shows and said, "Oh, we'll see you next year." And so because they know that people take stuff and they run with it on the internet and all this kind of thing, they wanted to nip it in the bud and just say, "Hey, we're not coming over. It's not a thing." And, pulling back the curtain a little bit, Jordan did talk a little bit about people saying, taking it out of context. He said the band was a little bit surprised when they got kind of a little bit of backlash for the whole, you can come see it over here if you want to type of thing. They agree with what you and I were talking about. It's like they weren't saying, "Oh, well, we're not coming over there. You need to come here." It wasn't that. They were saying, "Hey, if you're so inclined," which they do use that terminology, you can, if you want to catch the Parasomnia show, there's a few more opportunities for you to do so. And like we said, and Jordan agreed, like, we don't know what the European tour dates are or the overseas tour dates when they're doing that. So how would we expect the overseas fans to know what our tour dates here in America are? It's not like they know off the top of their head. So it's like they're saying, "Hey, there's a few more shows left. So if you have the expendable income, like, you can come see the show if you would like." And so Gail McLeish, I don't call them whiners. I call them winery dogs, WHINERY dogs. Nice. Chastity says, "Not gaslighting. Gaslighting is when you do something and then lie about doing it." Okay, yeah, see, I don't know the terms. I don't follow the cool kid terms and everything, so whatever. But yeah, so he confirmed that it was just them trying to be cool in case someone ran with it and said, "Hey, you're supposed to play in Europe." So
when you're out strolling around the streets of Columbus, do you ever go over to Jordan and say, "I walk beside you"?
Don't think it didn't come into my head to
oh my God,
do something asinine like that.
It would have been all I could do not to bust out a few puns like
that. Right. Yeah, no, but so yeah, we had an awesome conversation, man. And we went back to the hotel and he's like, "Yeah, I'll hit you up later." And so we're like, "Cool." and I figured Wayne wouldn't have been as excited as I was because he's used to talking to these guys and whatnot. But man, he's like, "Dude, we just walked around with Jordan Rudess. How cool is that?" Like, and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, dude." So at that point was when we walked through the whole Yay Jesus thing, which was really cool. And Wayne got it in his head that he wanted pizza. So we're like, "Let's find a bar and figure out pizza." So he all right. So we end up walking through this big giant outdoor park area. It's right behind our hotel. And end up walking smack into the middle of this dog Halloween party event. So we're, we're hanging out with all these cute dogs and stuff like that. And they're awesome little costumes. So we had some dog time. And, but yeah, we had grabbed a beer and, we're kind of just bullshitting again. And then, we found this pizza place and it was really, really cool because it was open till 3 a.m. So we're like, okay, well, if we, wanted something after the show, we know where to go. But, we're like, "All right, let's check this out." And we were the only customers in there at that particular time. And so we go to the bar. And by the way, there's a lot of bars in this story, but we weren't like, "Hey, we're getting hammered," anything like that. It was like we had like 1 or 2 beers and whatever. But man, this pizza was amazing. And Wayne just was over the moon. He could not stop talking about this pizza, which was awesome. He was like, "Dude, if this isn't top 3 pizza for me in my entire life, that's at worst." He's like, "This is the greatest pizza I've ever had." And he wasn't wrong. It was really, really, really good.
What was the place?
So it's called Mikey's Late Night Slice.
Okay.
And I guess they're known for, yeah, they're like, they have a couple different locations and The reviews that I've seen, they're like, yeah, it's better if you get like a fresh whole pie, which is what we did, than if you just get a reheated slice. But I mean, let's face it, if you're hammered at 2:00 in the morning, I mean, decent pizza is hard to find, and stuff that quality is, it's who gives a shit. So Luke the composer, over a glass moon. JG3, a fortune in pies.
Nice.
Oh, you guys got to get that going, man.
Well, the other funny thing is you guys were there, and if this isn't going to mean anything to most people that aren't from here, but you guys were there when Ohio State did not have a home game. So you took like that takes about I don't know, 50 to 100,000 people out of that would probably normally be downtown.
Yeah. I was kind of bummed that they at least didn't have a game to watch on television, but it was not to be. They were on the road and everything, so he didn't quite get the full experience. But
right.
So yeah, we had like amazing. Look at Kale. So when do we start talking about the show? No spoilers given. The tour ended. Kale, if you want to jump right into the concert, you go get your own damn podcast. You understand me? You already sold out Wayne. Don't be selling me out too. Gotcha. Got him. But yeah, we're getting there, Kale. But other stuff happened before then. So we have this pizza and it's fucking awesome. We're like, all right, let's go to the hotel and rest for a second. So we're thinking about that. Well, then Jordan hits him back up and he's like, hey, I'm going to go grab some tea. You want to? We're like, sure. Yeah, let's go. So we walk back over to the hotel area and we find Jordan and we go to this tea place. And it's like Johan Alexanderson. I want to hear more about the pizza. So we end up going to this place and getting tea with Jordan. And we were kind of waiting for the fan hangout, which was at 4:30, the DTUSA fan hangout. And Jordan, he's joking around earlier. He's like, I was like, okay, I found the bar. I'm like, oh, that's where the hangout's at. And he says, what is this? And I told him about the DTUSA things. He's like, I didn't know they did that. I said, yeah, it's literally like it before every show on your guys' tours now. It's really cool. And he said, what time is that? And I said, 4:30. He goes, oh, remind me to not be anywhere near there at 4:30. It's like, so he was kind of joking around about that. But so we go to this tea shop, and by then all the No Kings people are starting to show up. So it's starting to get all political and signs and shit downtown, and we're all kind of rolling our eyes like, okay, whatever. And I've Jordan and Wayne have got their backs to the door, and I'm facing them. So I see these people, these four dudes start walking in, and they look like they've got poster board. So I'm thinking, okay, they got signs. Well, as one of them walks in, he happens to turn it over. It's the vinyl of Octavarium. I was like, oh shit. So I kind of was like, kind of giving him the, hey, like, there's like kind of giving him a look. And all of a sudden you see these guys, like Jordan hadn't even turned around. I see him start whispering to each other, like, dude, that's Jordan. Dude, that's Jordan. So I was like, okay. So I knew I couldn't just, sell these people out. So I just shut up. Well, eventually he turned around for a second. And they saw him like, hey, Jordan. But these guys, I could tell he was like a little nervous, but he was so cool about it. He was just like, and these guys were like, oh man, have a great show. And that's all they did, and ordered their coffee and left. It was really cool. But I was wondering if we were going to get that super fan experience of sign this, sign that, chew his ear off kind of thing, so it was cool, man. Kale's defending himself. See, Kale's he's so paranoid. Seriously, Brian? Tea time with Jordan, aka Strange Deja Brew.
Who put that in there?
Ass. Doug McCauley, Ben the Slice. So yeah, so we did that, and then Jordan goes back to the hotel because we has to go back to the venue. They're doing sound check. And so we went, and I was like, you know what, dude, I really want to see sound check. And Wayne was like, okay. So we end up going over to the venue, and my Facebook is loading up like crap. So I apologize here, but I'm going to try and get these up here.
Well, real quick, before you go over there, before you get there, do you ask and say, hey, is it cool if I take any pictures or video, or do you bother and just say, I'm not even going to chance it? Or how does that all go?
So when we got in there, we just literally walked backstage. Like we walked through like their like the room that had like their flight cases with their clothes hanging out of them and shit like that, you know.
CG3, I'm sorry. It's getting so stupid, but it's funny.
Find all you need in your mind if you bake the pie. That's
Lord,
fantastic.
it's stupid.
Luke the composer, if you keep ordering pizza, isn't that an endless sacrifice? Okay.
Hell's Kitchen is cooking up a lot of stuff today.
I'm not even getting into it because this is something you and I do all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, so we were just back there, dude.
So you're actually watching it from behind the stage.
I didn't get to see them jam, and we'll get to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
So I did for a second. But so when we get back there, the crust of Tuscany.
Nice. Oh man.
But so when we walked up, the first person that we ran into was Maddie, who, you know, is John Petrucci's guitar tech, as most people know, but he's also now their stage manager, so he kind of like runs the show and everything. So Wayne's like, "Hey, what's up?" They're talking, and I was like, "Hey, Maddie, nice to meet you." And like, cause you know what, Doug McCauley, chat's on fire. Proud of you guys. Keep it up, dude. But one thing I definitely did. Anybody I met, I made sure to be extremely polite. You know, I wanted to make sure they knew that I had manners and I wasn't just some nut job. That I really wanted to make Wayne look good. You know, because I didn't want anybody to go to him and be like, I'm not even putting that in there. That is
sorry. All right, I'm done.
That is, oh my God, that's bad. But yeah, I didn't want Wayne to have to get like a call like, "Hey, who is this jackass you brought with you?" Like, don't be doing that sort of thing. So
right.
So yeah, we met Maddie and I introduced myself. He's like, "Hey man." And I said, "Hey, you know, can I take a few pictures?" He goes, "Yeah, that's fine." So I was actually, you know, back there, and well, this one's a little blurry because I was trying to go quickly, but yeah, so I actually got a picture of the boat. So that was really, really cool. If this thing wasn't taking such a damn long time to load up, I could just scroll through the pictures, but yeah, so I was back there. We got to see that. This particular shot is pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome, I would say. This is the Siamese monster from behind. So this was just unbelievably cool. So the thing is, I mean, the picture doesn't do it justice. That goddamn thing is huge.
Wow.
It's kind of interesting because when you're back there, the stage looks a little smaller than you would think it would. Because when you're out front, I mean, maybe this is a stupid thing to say, but it looks pretty damn big out front. But from the back, it's really not.
No, I get it. When you go see a band, even local bands, sometimes you're farther away. And like, wow, and then you get up there, and you know how to playing in bands too. But that makes sense. Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah, it was. I was thinking about going further, like towards the kit, but I was kind of trying not to push the issue because Wayne wasn't really going, "Hey, let's go over here, let's go over there." He was kind of just there, and he was letting me kind of dictate. And I was like, unless Wayne is going to say, "Oh yeah, we can walk up right to the riser and stuff," I wasn't about to kind of say, "Okay, well, let's, you know."
You go over there like, I just want to work on some rudiments real quick. Is that a problem?
Right. Right. Cam McCleish says, "Man, I'd kill for that view. Getting to see all the inner workings like this. What a dream. Glad you got to live it. Appreciate it, man." Yeah, it was pretty crazy, dude. The Shadow Man was blown up at the time. So that big inflatable was like right next to me. It was really cool to see that thing. It's goddamn enormous, as we all know. So that was just, I mean, it was so cool being able to see that. I got, you know, obviously some pictures of his rig, which was fun. So, you know, got to see all the different racks and things like that. I got that. This is going to be fascinating viewing for the audio listeners, by the way. But if you are listening on audio, You can go on the video and see the pictures that I'm sharing here. But yeah, I mean, his rig. I mean, he has got so much guitar shit, dude. It's unbelievable. I mean, all of this, and then there's still some to the right. All of this is nothing but guitar stuff. I mean, it is. I mean, I don't know how they keep this shit straight. It's fascinating to me how
Like,
these guys can.
You'd obviously never be able to sound like Petrucci, but I've heard, I think it was a buddy of mine or something, got to play on George Lynch's rig once, just at a sound check or something goofy. I don't know, I can't remember what the story was, but it's just like you strum that and you hear that and you're like, God, anybody can sound this good, you know what I mean? Because they're so like the sound is just, they just make it sound so ridiculous. Now, obviously, you know, you have to know to play like him, but I would love to just be able to just like play like 3 chords and be like, oh my God, you know, like look what I can sound like. I know I can't play, but
dude, it sounds so godly, because I was in there for a second while they were jamming, and I'll mention that here in a second, but got a little better picture of the, come on computer, a little bit better picture of the guitars here for, you know, of Petrucci stuff. He had a few more colors than I was used to. You know, like there was, you know, some green and stuff, like things that I haven't seen, at least the shows I've been to. So it was really interesting. It was more colorful than I thought it would be, like the different the rainbow of options he had. And even my young, like for a majority of the show, he was playing a neon green bass. I don't think I've ever seen him play anything but like black or a very dark color. So that was kind of cool. Let's see what we got here. So this is from behind the soundboard. So this is Steve. So this is the dude, you know, it was Steve and Ace that were running sound and lights back there. So this is at the back of the venue, like behind the seated area. And you know, so they were telling us how they do certain things and, you know, how the controls work and all that kind of shit. And then we'll get to this in a minute, but yeah. I'll just leave this here. So for a second, because I can't believe that happened. So but yeah, that happened. So we're standing there and we had talked to Ace and Steve, and I was, you know, Wayne's kind of like walking around in kind of the hallway. You know, it's kind of one of those older theaters, and you know how there's like kind of like the little mini balcony areas that it's like a cluster of like 4 seats that they have in places like that. Well, they had them on the floor level as well. So I was in the back, probably about 2/3 of the way back, and Petrucci and Portnoy came out. And I was like, holy shit, man. So they're talking, you know, they're kind of bullshitting a little bit. And, you know, he starts checking his guitar and they're doing this, that, and the other. And so we kind of walk around a little bit more. And then I go back out there and they were running through, you know, Jordan and John Mayung came out. And then they were running through Metal asshole, Midnight Messiah. And it was like, dude, the sound in there without people, like to hear just the instruments going, was like, oh my God, was it awesome. And so I'm standing there and, you know, they jammed a little bit and I had pulled out my phone to text my wife. So I've got my phone down around my belly area, you know. Well, all of a sudden, Wayne's like, what the hell, man? I look up and Maddie's up on the stage going like this, like, no. Like, so I was like, all right, well, let's go. If I'm getting busted, like, I don't want to get Wayne in trouble. So we take off and Wayne was pissed. Yeah. See there, Doug McCauley. John wrote a new track, Metal Messiah. I don't know why, like, I don't know why I said that, but yeah, like he was not happy about that. I guess somebody came out from the other side of the stage because Maddie was on stage left, and apparently someone came out on stage right, and I didn't see, and they were waving their flashlight like crazy, and then I guess that's what got Maddie's attention, something or other. But yeah, just you know, Wayne was like, well, we're not doing anything, we're not taking video, we're not taking pictures, like, you know, all you're doing is texting your wife. And dude, he stayed pissed about that the entire evening. he was not happy, dude. He was like, that's just bullshit. And I was like, dude, it's cool. Like I told him I was like, man, like this is their office. Like they get to make the rules. Like they're at work. This isn't like fuck around playtime. Like this is their living. Like if the stage manager says cut that shit out, guess what? I gotta cut that shit out. But Wayne just did not take kindly to it. It was really cool, man. He was like, that's bullshit, man. All you're trying to do is just get a picture, text your wife about, seeing your favorite band and everything. It's really protective, which was really, really cool. So, we did that. And then we walked over to the fan hangout thing. And it was an elevator, I think it was called. And we met up with a whole bunch of cool people. I met some people that there were a couple more people that knew me from the show, which was really awesome. Great to meet you guys. And met some old friends, and also hooked up with Robert Husted there, and also Rob Myers. He was there. Rob, thanks for the gift. He bought me some real cool Dream Theater shit. Yeah, and so we just kind of sat there bullshitting, and one of the guys I was bullshitting with turned out to be the guitar player for Wish You Were Here. So we just got into a really awesome musical conversation, and it was kind of funny because they couldn't get the app to work for the Dream Theater trivia that they do at all those things. And so I was like, well, I'll do some trivia questions. So I was just trying to think of the goofiest shit I could think of off the top of my head. So I asked people a couple questions, like 3 of them or something, tried to stump them. So there was, it was a really good time, man. So at this point, though, I felt terrible for Wayne because he was hitting the wall. He was absolutely passing out on his feet.
So you're what, 3 hours to showtime?
Yeah, this was it was let me think, because that thing was from 4:30 to 6 and doors were at 7. So we were there till about 5:30, and I finally I was like, dude, let's go, man. Let's go get you a nap. Let's power nap. Because he was just dead on his feet, man. He wasn't talking to anybody. Like, how you get that way when you're like, you're trying to stay awake, and so your focus is solely on that. That was the headspace he was in.
So I don't know if you're getting to this later, but we talked a little bit about, how did it go with talking about the show, or did anybody know you had the show in the band, or how did that all play out?
Yeah, well, that's later.
Okay.
But yeah, I did, I was telling people about it at the fan hangout. We got some new subscribers and whatnot. And it was pretty cool. So they were asking, is it just audio? I said, no, it's video. So I pulled up one of our recent episodes and I'm like, oh shit, okay. So yeah, so we walked back to the hotel. I'm like, Wayne, let's power nap, and so, and he just we really didn't. He ended up catching a second wind.
Yeah, you never do.
Yeah. And so we ended up just having a couple drinks and stuff like that. And because he got a little bit drunk mid-afternoon, like, because we had been to a few places, and like I said, he doesn't drink very much. So those few beers, they really hit him pretty hard, because we also hadn't eaten breakfast. So by the time we get to pizza, we basically only had alcohol in us. So,
well, dude, I mean, I've learned hanging out. Even if I try to do half of what you do, I'm gonna be out for I don't even bother anymore.
Nice. It's not that bad. You make me sound like a functioning alcoholic or something. But yeah, so we were having some drinks at the hotel and whatnot, and then we went to the venue, and we couldn't get our tickets. So he's like, oh shit, we had to pick him up at will call, and they didn't have the tickets. Well, come to find out, like, Wayne is actually his middle name. He goes by Wayne, but he has a different first name. Well, they had put, when the guy went to look up his tickets, he was looking at his license, and he couldn't find him because he was looking under his first name, even though Wayne kept saying Wayne Joyner. But the guy was looking, like, I think his first name starts with E or something, I want to say. So instead of looking down at the end of the alphabet for the W's, he's looking up at the E's. He's like, well, I don't have it. So now, Dream Theater is, what, like half hour, 15 minutes from going on stage. And there's Wayne having to text Rick Fuellner, the tour manager, being like, "Hey, Rick, we got a problem here." So
That's funny.
finally, the guy decides to look under Wayne, and he's like, "Oh yeah, here it is." I'm like, well, he said that like 18 times, bro. He said it was
Nice.
Wayne. So yeah, so then we go in and we go to the show, and they're giving us like what, 8th row tickets or something, like right on the aisle is just beautiful tickets, and we had literally the aisle to ourselves. So whoever else was on the guest list, I don't think they used their tickets because we were literally by ourselves. It was sweet. We could stretch out and everything. We weren't cramped in with other people, and so yeah, the show itself, man, was, I mean, I cannot say enough about James LaBrie. I mean, and everybody on the show knows I'm a James honk. I fully admit it. And we all know what people talk about online and all that bullshit. And we all know that people who have seen the Parasomnia tour, they have said James is absolutely on fire. And I'm telling you, bro, they are not wrong. He was fantastic. He literally, you know how he's like is modulating the melodies, in the high stuff anymore. He did that for 2 notes the entire show. Everything else, he hit the original notes. I mean, it was unbelievable how good he sounded. And I mean, obviously, and Parasomnia is just, it translates live so goddamn well. It was a blast to see it. Wayne's videos for the live presentation were just off the charts good. And it was just such a great experience, man. I love the set list in the second half. It was cool, man. They played As I Am.
I just pulled it up because I was curious. I never did talk to you about it ahead of time. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, but so they played As I Am. They played Enemy Inside, which I was really surprised by that because
Yeah.
with, only having, what, like 6-7 songs of a quote unquote greatest hits to do the second half of the show, I was really surprised they pulled out a Mangini tune. So that was a really, really cool surprise. Then they did Panic Attack. They did Through My Words and Fatal Tragedy. And then obviously for me, the highlight, they pulled out Peruvian Skies. So I got some Falling Into Infinity. Oh my God, it was so great. And then they did Take the Time. Oh, one thing I want to mention, Peruvian Skies, they always, like, at the end and the heavy part, they add in like the little snippet of Enter Sandman. They changed it up to Wherever I May Roam. That was pretty cool, man. So
yeah, I just read that. Interesting. That's funny.
Yep. So that was awesome. And then the end of that set was Take the Time. And then obviously the encore was A Change of Seasons. And again, shout out to Wayne for the video on that. It was unbelievably cool. And yeah, I mean, the band was just on fire. And James, it was, I mean, Wayne and I just were looking over and we're just like, even he sounded like whatever he's doing sounded like it took, like, at minimum a decade off of his voice. I mean, he was money. It was unbelievable. Oh, it's John Ronis. What's up, man? Good to see you, bro. How you doing? John Ronis from DT USA there. Or Dream Theater World, excuse me. John, I get those things confused. I'm such an ass with that. What a dumbass. Yep, Aaron Taft is right. He said, and they threw in Wish You Were Here in Peruvian Skies too. Yeah, they did the Floyd thing. Doug McCauley, A Change of Seasonings. We're back at that.
I was listening to a couple other podcasts, and they brought up something just for discussion here.
Sure.
What did you think of just there? I don't know if it was a complaint, but it was more of a, maybe it could have been better. Like the idea of ending with Change of Seasons completely, rather than like, okay, putting that sort of at the end of Act 2 and then come back with, maybe Take the Time or whatever, and have that be at the very end. Like maybe just skip Take the Time where it was.
No, that's a. All right, I'll just be honest. No, that's a terrible idea. I mean,
No?
the highlight of the show. I mean, it's the Parasomnia Change of Seasons tour.
Right.
I mean, how are you going to follow up a Change of Seasons? Like that is such a monstrosity. Like it's you. I mean, you're. God damn it, Doug. I was waiting for this one. Take the time. THYME.
Right.
God damn it. If you could fit marjoram, the seasoning into that, I'll give you bonus points. Yeah, dude, I just think I just think that a Change of Seasons is too big, too popular. I don't think you can follow that up.
Do you think that Change of Seasons is as big as you're saying it is among the, I'll say, the more casual average fan?
Oh yeah. Heck
Really?
yeah. I mean, dude, I mean, let's face it. Is there really such a thing as a casual Dream Theater fan? I mean, haven't we talked a lot about the fact that like you either are really into this band or you don't like them at all? I mean, how many people do you know that are like, yeah, they're okay? Like I
No,
like 2 or 3 songs.
I guess I'd never. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen quite the love for that you're saying is out there. Which I could be totally wrong.
Everybody I saw at the show was talking about it. There's a huge buzz for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was definitely a highlight for at least at the show I was at.
Yeah, well, no, I understand that concept. I'm just saying in general, I guess, in terms of like, you know what I'm saying, in terms of albums, not in terms of, oh, we get to finally hear it live. I don't know, just a discussion point.
No, I mean, well, yeah. Okay, so John Rana says, for me, ending with the Change of Seasons was perfect. All their other epics, like PU, TTT, which one's, why am I drawing a blank on which one's PU? What am I?
Pull me up, pull me under. They're missing the M.
What am I doing?
Pull under.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, have been their closers for so long. Closing with a Change of Seasons live. Oh yeah, pull me. Closing with a Change of Seasons live is like all their albums have closed with an epic. Learning to Live, In the Name of God, etc. Yeah, John, I completely agree with that. Oh, it is Pull Me Under. Okay, and Take the Time. Okay, he did take the time too. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I see. Yeah, I just think it's a great way to close. And I mean, what are you going to follow it with? You know,
Well,
I mean,
JG3 says not a universal top 5 DT song.
It says, to me, A Change of Seasons is not a universal top 5 DT song. It's very good, but parts of it hold it back slightly. I don't think anything holds it back. I think it's perfect everywhere. I love it. But I mean, I can't say it's top 5 because I think there are only because there are other songs that I would put in the top 5, I think. Luke the Composer says, A Change of Seasons live was epic. It was the perfect ending of the night for me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, dude, and if you think about it, like anything else they would close with, you know, it is, you know, to John Ronis's point, like it's going to be something that you've heard them close with before. This is something that you never get, and it's such a rarity for them to do it. Doug McCauley, yeah, JG3. Hey, you can get banned for saying that shit. Yeah, I just think it's definitely unique, and so I think you had to do that. I know for me it was like kind of like one of those, you know, you're waiting. It's like you were so excited to get to that. And so it made for a really cool flow to the show because you knew that was still coming up. So, yeah. But in any case, yeah, the show itself was just absolutely incredible. Wayne's video work was phenomenal. There's just like a renewed energy about them. You know, this whole reunion with Portnoy has just really, really energized them. And yeah, I mean, it's just look at this idiot. Okay, he muted his mic. Anyway, Brian's having a computer issue here real quick, but yeah, I mean, the show was just it was one of the best shows of theirs I've ever seen. And I don't remember if this was 25th the 25th or 26th time that I've seen them, but this was definitely, way up there. And I did not expect that, because usually when you get this late in a band's career, it's still awesome, but nostalgia always plays a part in it, to where you go, oh well, man, that I remember that show back in 99, or oh, this one in 97 or 2000, when it's like 20 years in the rearview mirror. And this one, I didn't have that. I was like, no, this absolutely kicked ass, man. Yeah. John Ryan is completely right. He says Wayne is a superstar, 6th member for sure, dude. Those that video stuff he does is just unbelievable. And he was actually showing me some snippets of something he's working on for another project that just looks so cool. So freaking cool. All right, you're back. You got everything fixed over there?
Yeah, I had kind of a serious question here, and we I
Sure.
think we talked about this last episode about what all goes into doing, just even at the local level. Do you get a new appreciation when you see all of the moving parts and how many things there are to this machine, and how much work goes into this, and you don't just fall out of bed and walk on stage and play like this and have these shows? Like, is it kind of a reaffirmation of what you already know, or is it like, man, there's even more than I thought? And it's just like, there's just so much that goes into making this, so many things have to fall into place for this to work perfectly. And it's just such a huge machine at this point. And it's like, how does everyone keep track of all of it? And how does it get done? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and dude, they shared a picture of them with their crew after the last show. Or maybe it's before, but in any case, the New York show, they posted a picture of themselves and the crew. And it was like, you would, I know I felt this way. You'd almost expect them to have a bigger crew than they do. So that was kind of surprising to me. But after the show, when we were backstage, and I'll talk about that next. Like, the amount of people that are running stuff out and continuously running stuff out. I mean, the amount of shit that's there is just unfreaking believable. I can't imagine, like, teardown is kind of like, it's one thing, and excuse me, this from being in a band. Teardown, you're done with the show, like, you're just chucking stuff in the case. You're going fast because you're like, let's get the fuck out of here. So, but setup is much more meticulous to make sure everything's in the right place. And I mean, like, just walking up the aisle, I was looking down, and the like big, huge, like, ropes of cable, gaffer taped to the floor that had to run from the soundboard all the way in the back, down the aisle where people are walking and shit, up to the stage and everything. I mean, it's just like, you're right. I mean, the amount that goes into it is unbelievable. And that going in, but when you see it, it's like even more than you would believe. So it's really, really crazy just how much stuff really has to get done to put a show like this on. And I mean, I like the shows that I've seen, I've never seen a snafu. And like I said, I've seen them 25 or 26 times. The only snafu I ever saw was James LeBrie splitting his pants. But I mean, nothing like when the power went out at the Cleveland show here a couple months ago. So for them to be able to pull all this off is crazy. And it was really cool to see it. And it was also interesting because I've never been I've never seen a venue fully backstage before, and the rooms were smaller than I thought they would be, and the staircases were smaller than I thought they would be. They're pretty narrow, So, by the way, real quick, this is kind of an interesting comment. Marcus Reyes, great to see you, dude. He says, I'm a casual fan. Images and Words is amazing, but the rest of their albums did not register with me. Yet, I do like Sons of Apollo. And being a drummer, I think Mike Portnoy is amazing. Yeah, we're big Sons of Apollo guys, man. Those 2 records are awesome, and the live album is phenomenal. But Marcus, I think you might be the first casual Dream Theater fan I've ever heard of. So,
they're out there, but they might not be buying tickets to shows. Let's just say that.
Chris Moran, great to see you. He says, John, I have one question for you. How did you get to go backstage and get pictures of John Petrucci's guitars? That was the passes that Wayne hooked us up with. So,
now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't you originally say your backstage passes you could kind of go back and forth like all night if you wanted to, but you probably didn't want to do that because that would be weird. Like you're not watching the show, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And also like, I mean, Wayne's done it, but again, Wayne, he works with them. So they know him. So if he shows up back there, like he said that, a couple of shows he went to, he went backstage and grabbed pop or something to drink while they're back there chilling out for their 20 minutes. And he just went back there and grabbed a couple pops to drink and stuff like that. And, but yeah, I didn't want to, because they'd be like, who's this fucking guy? And I mean, dude, honestly, like we're not nearly on their level, but you've played in bands for years like I have. And as well as I do, when you're on a break and somebody you don't know is hanging out backstage, your first inclination is to go, who the fuck are you?
Right.
Like, because you just kind of want to like catch your breath for a second because you're so on during your performance that you're just kind of chilling. And also you get nervous if that person's going to be an a-hole. So it's just like, oh God, seriously, dude. Brian, as I am.
I can just picture that though. Like, hey, you get there in the middle. So, like, hey, Wayne, I'm going to run real quick. I'm going to get some potato salad. I'll be right back.
That's amazing. Oh my God. So, but yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. But yeah, we did not walk around and everything. We kind of waited, and then we got to the after show, and that was pretty awesome. Some of my pictures got kind of screwed around here, so I'll bring a couple other ones up.
So how does this work for are the meet and greet VIPs? Do you pay? Obviously you didn't pay for yours, but do people pay to be able to do that, or is that something they only give to select people, or like giveaways or stuff, or how does that work exactly? Because there's a difference between VIP and meet and greet, obviously.
Well, the meet and greet was the thing that you and I did for Distance Over Time, where it was like what $300 or something, and so that was that thing.
Right.
The VIP passes though, that's like you're with the band type of thing.
So they sell X number of those for whoever to. If you
those are not for sale.
Those are not for sale. Okay.
No. That's you have to be given that by the tour.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's Wayne. That's he had gotten those passes, and then he got the after show access sticker as well that was put in with our tickets. So John Ronis says he has a funny story on that remark, John. Okay, throw it in the chat real quick, John. Let me know. So yeah, so we go backstage after the gig, and everyone's running around and whatnot, and Wayne kind of seemed like he was cool, not really bothering anybody. But I was like, if we're back here, man, I absolutely cannot miss the chance to see if I can meet the guys. And he went to Jordan's dressing room. He couldn't remember where the dressing rooms were, and of course me, I was like, I know exactly where they are.
I put up 3 cameras in every room.
Oh yeah. Earlier. But I mean, when we had walked around earlier in the day, I was like, I kind of like took a mental picture, and I was like, wow, okay.
Luke.
Oh God, Luke,
it's so
build me up, make me down. Doug McCauley, Olivarium. Jesus,
that was pretty good, Olivarium.
Oh my God. But so Jordan's room is open, so he kind of like pokes and says like, "Hey, Jordan, what's up?" He's like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" So we're kind of bullshitting with him, and Jordan's enjoying a glass of wine or whatever. And I knew that Portnoy's room was across the hall from his, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, "Oh man, I hope he comes out. I hope he comes out." And a few minutes go by, we're bullshitting and everything, and the guys, all the rooms were closed up, so they were definitely kind of just relaxing after the gig for a second, doing family stuff and whatever, and talking to the phone, whatever they had to do. And then eventually, oh no, stupid piece of crap. Yeah, this happened. So Portnoy came out. And Chris Moran, no, I did not buy merchandise. I didn't want to wait in the line, and I got the stuff I wanted at the Radio City show. Yeah, so I met Mike Portnoy.
You got what? So what did you say? It was 5 to 10 minutes roughly, or not even that long?
Yeah, no, it was about 5 minutes because he was saying some stuff to Jordan. But the way I got the pictures with each of the guys, I was, I shook their hand and said, "Hey, I'm John. Very nice to meet you." And I said, would it be okay to snap a real quick picture? And they were all like, "Oh yeah, that's fine." Well, one of them was not. It's kind of a funny story to that. One of them kind of fucked with me, which was awesome. But yeah, important. I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." So Wayne, took my phone and got a picture with Mike, and he was kind of hanging for a minute. And I said to him, I said, "Oh, by the way, man," I said, "I just wanted to tell you, like, I'm a huge dog person. And, I just wanted to tell you, I know it was, a while back, but I said, I'm really sorry about Mickey. I followed him on Instagram and everything. And, I can't imagine what that was like being he's like, "Oh dude, it was so sad." And so he was telling me a little bit about that. And then I showed him, my paw print of Wayne that I have on my hand here. And I mentioned, my situation with him and how he passed back in May. And he's like, "Oh, that's so sad." So we actually talked dogs for a little bit, and he's got cats now. And so I asked him a little bit about that. But Doug McCauley, did you tell him it wasn't Kale? Nice. But yeah, and he was just so cool, man, because we just had a little mini conversation. He couldn't have been more nice, more polite, and he was man, he was just like with the pictures, like, "Oh hell yeah." Like it wasn't even like a yeah, okay, like you could tell he wanted to do other stuff. Like, some guys can be that way. And he was just like, yeah, cool. So that was awesome, dude. So, at this point, I got my picture with Jordan and hung out with him, and I got the bullshit with Portnoy, and just kind of hang out and whatnot. And then Wayne's like, "Well, let me go upstairs and we'll see if we can, obviously we're not going to meet John Mayung. That's kind of like getting a picture with Jesus. He's not that kind of guy." He's like, "Well, let's go up to, let's go up to John's room and see if he's available." And it was like, "Cool, okay." So we go upstairs, and he was on the phone, so we had to wait a little bit. And again, I think Wayne, I kind of got the vibe he was thinking about taking off, and I wasn't budging. It's like, "No, man, like I have to meet this guy. Like I absolutely have to meet this guy." So we waited, and then
but you're still not pushing the podcast though.
No, dude, because I wasn't gonna be that guy. I wasn't gonna be like.
But you said Wayne at one point told Petrucci, right? Or are we waiting for that? Sorry.
Yeah. No, okay. It's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, so then Wayne looks in, and John sees me, like, "Hey, come on in." So there I am in Petrucci's dressing room, and there I am with John Petrucci. So I got my picture with Petrucci, which was excuse me, it was just awesome. Just the nicest. I mean, all the guys, dude, are so unbelievably nice and just down to earth. Like it's, Wayne and I were talking about it, like the whole, "Oh, never meet your heroes." It's like, no, that's complete bullshit with Dream Theater, man. Like they are just the sweetest guys you could possibly imagine. And same thing with John. I said, "Hey, big fan, would it be all right? Would it be all right if I got a quick picture?" He goes, "Oh yeah, of course." So, Wayne takes my camera and took a picture. So there we go. And then Wayne got pictures of him with John and stuff like that. Because he actually, Wayne texted with Petrucci quite a bit, apparently. So they do a lot of work together, which is really cool. And by the way, John Ronis, I am going to bring up your story here in a minute. So, but yeah, so we're sitting there hanging out with Petrucci, and Wayne goes, "Oh, by the way, John, my buddy John here, he does like the best Dream Theater podcast around." And Petrucci goes, "There's a Dream Theater podcast?" And Wayne's like, "Yeah." He's like, "What's it called?" I was like, "Oh, it's called Talking Into Infinity." And he kind of laughed at that, And I was like, "Yeah, it's not the best, but it's all we could come up with. It's at least somewhat creative." And I mentioned we talk about other stuff besides, Dream Theater sometimes. And so he's like, "I got to check this out." So, he said, "Wayne, send me some links." So the next day, I texted Wayne some links and everything. And so I think they've checked it out. At least Petrucci, I would assume, looked at something. So
he had to send and we didn't even think about this one. Well, maybe you did. Our greatest Petrucci moments. He had to send him that one. Come on, man.
Well, no, I chose the ones to send, and I sent Gateway Dream Theater songs.
That's
the Falling Into Infinity deep dive, because obviously that's me fawning all over an underrated record. And then I did send him the Petrucci versus Petrucci cage match.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that'd be good, and it's a little more, modern and stuff like that. But yeah, see, I mean, look at this, man. So JG or Doug McCauley, excuse me, says, "I somehow got John's personal email when I was in high school. I wrote him and he replied. He took the time to write me personally. What other guitar hero does that to a stranger?" Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Kale McLeish. JP, if you're in the audience right now, I hope you're having a great day and we love you. I second, third, and fourth that, man. But yeah, dude, he could not have been nicer. And so we talked for a minute, and him and Wayne were kind of bullshitting and stuff like that. And it was just awesome. And didn't get to see James. So that was kind of like, okay, well, no James. That's, cool.
So you didn't see him before or after at all, basically?
Yeah, I mean, at that point I was like, all right, well, he's not coming out or whatever.
Okay.
So I thought, okay. But wait. Yes, he did. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So he came down to John's room to say something to him. And he seemed, I don't know how to describe, it wasn't flustered. He was rushing. And you could tell he wasn't in let's hang out mode. It was like he had other shit to do, so he had just come to say something quick to Petrucci. And so I was like, I better jump on this while I can. And I said, "Hey man, would it be cool if I grabbed a quick picture with you?" And he goes, "No." And I was like, "Oh," and he's like, just kidding. So I hand Wayne the phone, and James puts his arm around me, and Wayne drops the phone to his side, starts saying something to Petrucci. So I look over at James and I go, what the fuck, man? It's clear you got other things to do. What's with this fucking guy? And he starts laughing. So I got the picture with him, and I said, "Hey, before, I know you're Russian, so real quick, I just wanted to thank you." I said, "You came on my podcast a couple years ago, and we had a great episode." He goes, "Podcast? What podcast?" And I said, "Oh, it's what's called Talking Into Infinity. We had you and Chance on. We did a deep dive into the Beautiful Shade of Gray record." And he said, "Oh yeah." He said, "That was really, really cool. That's awesome, man." He's like, "That was a good time. We should do it again." I said, "Hey, that's fine, man. Open forum." And so he's like, "All right, well, I got to get
your arm."
Yeah. So he runs out of the room. Cool. Well, not 10 seconds later, he comes barreling back in the room, and he goes, "Hey," he points right at me. He goes, "Hey, when I put out my next solo album, I'm coming back on your show." And I literally it flew out of my mouth. I go, "Fuck yes, you are, James LaBrie from Dream Theater." So, I mean, that was just unfreaking believable. So I met all the guys outside of Mayung, and they just could not be nicer.
Well, we should have told him too. We all know what happened the episode he was on. I mean, that comment thing was, what did we have, 60 some people at one point? I mean, we never had. I mean, we've had a lot of people, we've had a lot of downloads, with great success with this show, more than we ever even dreamed. We just thought we'd get 3 people from, if our mom and dad listened to it or something,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's like that show, like we I'm not saying it's because of us, but we crushed it. I mean, he had a crap load of people on here. I mean, that was a great episode, him and
Yeah.
hopefully they come back, man, for sure.
I mean, like I say, having, developed a friendship with Wayne, he texts them directly, so I can just say, "Hey, Wayne, can you hit up, John
Well, especially if
or
like
Mike?" And
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yep.
it's just like, because the publicists, they're. I mean, let's face it, we're not huge, so if they just look at views on YouTube, they're going to go, "This sucks." I mean, we've got a couple 100,000 downloads on our audio thing, which is awesome, but they don't see those numbers, so it doesn't look as impressive as it might be. So,
Right.
yeah, Kale's right. He said, "I remember him saying you should be doing my interviews from now on." When I defended the double up of Devil. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Doug is right. He says, "So you fan hurled on one small moment." Yes, but that was the only one the entire weekend. I was so proud of myself. And I think one of the other cool things was I sent the pictures to my wife, and her first comment was, "Oh my God, you look so happy." Like, she knows me better than anybody, and she could just tell, like, in everything I sent her, she was like, "Man, oh man, you were just like completely into it." Like, so JG3 says, and then I want to get to John Ronis' story real quick. He says, "I really get the feeling the meet and greets and stuff isn't James's thing. Not that he isn't a good dude or nice. It's just some guys are more comfortable around people than others. Plus, he's been sick a couple times and probably wants to avoid that." No, I don't know, man. Like, every time I've met him, Jay, I haven't gotten that vibe at all. He's been really, really cool. But I think there is something, to your comment about him not wanting to be sick and whatnot. I gotten a chance to talk to him longer, I was going to ask him, flat out, like, what are you doing with your voice? Because obviously it's working like a charm. Like, what kind of stuff did you change up? And I'm sure a lot of this, just because you could tell his voice was a teeny bit scratchy when he ran down to John's room. And, I'm sure a lot of any potentially negative vibe that's coming off of him at these things is based around him just wanting to make sure that his voice is at maximum capacity. I can tell you from a singing perspective that, Brian, this too, because you've sang in bands. Like, there are times when you're around people, if you're not feeling at the top of your game, you don't mean to come across as standoffish, but you're really just trying to keep your mouth shut because you're trying to keep whatever. I mean, dude, as we're speaking right now, I'm aware of me getting a little bit of a rasp and some mucus. I got to sing 4 hours tomorrow night. So I'm like, it's in my mind, like,
Yeah.
hey, like, so I would think that that's pretty much, just what he's going through. So
I mean, I'm sitting here coughing my brains out, and I got to play and sing outside tomorrow, so that's going to be real fun.
Yeah. So real quick, John Ronis had this cool story. So he said 4 or 5 of us hung around the buses waiting for the band to come out. And after a while, I spotted James behind his bus smoking a cigar, having a pint of Guinness. I walked over and jokingly said, "Hey, I know you." And James said, "John, is that you?" Then a couple other guys came over. And one dude said, "Hey, man, I saw you guys in Providence and I broke my foot." To which James jokingly replied, "I'll break your other fucking foot." It was so funny. That's awesome. Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, James did have a really funny moment on stage that night because there's this guy, and I've seen this hat many times. Well, I can't say many, but I have seen it a handful. There's some guy in the Ohio area. I don't know if he's Cleveland, Columbus, whatever, but I've seen this like 3 or 4 times. This guy goes to the show with a big old pirate hat, and he gives it to James to wear, and James will actually wear the thing. So it's so the very first crowd rap he did, he's like, "Guys, before we get to this, like, I got to address this." He's like, "This guy, anytime we're in this area, brings us in." And so James put on the pirate hat, man. It was cool as hell, dude. So yeah, that was the Dream Theater weekend, man. It was absolutely surreal. You know, to be around the guys in that venue, kind of getting a little peek behind the curtain. I found some other ones like here. This Petrucci warming up at sound check. Here we got that one. Dude, it was just surreal to it's
I don't know,
weird.
man. I think that's kind of underdressed basketball shorts for a sound check for a roadie.
That wasn't the roadie, dude.
Who was that?
Why don't you look closer? No, to the left of Petrucci in this picture, that's Mike Portnoy.
Oh, that's Portnoy. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not the roadie, bro. Definitely not the roadie.
Still, I mean, come on, Mike. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but I mean, to get to see like the behind the scenes of how this stuff kind of works, and all the crazy shit. It was just, like I say, it was absolutely surreal to get to, just. I hate to say it's like a full circle type of thing, but it's like I've seen it from the front. I've seen it from the perspective of doing a podcast interview, and I've seen it from behind the scenes and stuff like that. It's like,
it is full circle. It's totally, man, and it's all because of Wayne, man. I mean, like,
yep.
I know we're probably going to hit this before we close, but just once again, like you said, you got his number from a buddy of yours or whatever, and just out of the blue hit him up. And next thing we know, like, was it the first or second episode he was tuning in already?
It was, I didn't realize this, and this is how fast time flies. It was like within the first 15 episodes or something, I think.
First 15.
It was,
okay.
it was like 4 years ago.
Okay.
I mean, it was, I could not believe it had been that long. So Joseph Frank, great to see you. This is Fanboys 2, the Dream Theater concert. Make the movie, Brian.
Oh, nice.
Doug McCauley, that's a good one. A Rite of Sausage.
There you go.
Man after my own heart. Yep. Yeah. Johan Alexanderson says only thing that's left is joining the band and seeing it within. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I told Wayne this 3 times in the 2 weeks leading up to that show. I actually had a dream that the band had me sound check with them, because James doesn't do a sound check. Like, we need vocals. You come do a song with us? They're like, yes, I can.
In the name of God.
Yeah, exactly.
Stream of consciousness.
We're doing another day, and you have to hit every single note, or else don't even bother. Yeah. By the way, real quick, I got a shout out to Luke the composer, man. He does these amazing Dream Theater orchestrations, like on cello and stuff like that. They are absolutely fantastic. So everyone's talking about him in the chat. They are really, really good, man.
I'm scared to watch them. I hate when people are that good. It makes me want to just not try to do anything anymore. Crawl under a hole and die.
Yeah, you got to share links to that stuff sometime, Luke. Man, we gotta promote those things for you. So
how about that, man? We're gonna have this dude on playing live again. Remember when he was playing his stuff live?
That was awesome.
Yeah, we got to do that again.
Johan, I'm gun shy about that stuff, man.
Oh Lord, don't even start.
So John Rana says the guys are so down to earth. They really remember where they came from and what it's like to be a fan. They are approachable and considerate. Yeah, I could not agree with that more, man. It's I've met, I've been fortunate to meet a lot of musicians that I look up to, and a few of them were kind of assholes. And it really, I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't know about you, Brian, but if I'm into a band and I find out they're dickheads, it really takes away my enjoyment of their music. And thank God when I met Eddie Van Halen, he was just so incredible to me. And the Dream Theater guys are the same way. God damn it, Brian. 6 degrees of dinner turbulence. See, you're not even. I'm trying to tell nice stories.
I am,
and you're just coming up with puns.
I don't know. No, man, it's so cool you got to go. I'm bummed I missed out, but like I said, I'm one of those people where it's like stuff happens. I don't like if someone else gets to experience like the dream of their lifetime, like you did. Like that's just so cool, man. I mean,
I was so bummed you couldn't do it. I mean, that's another thing that we forgot to.
Well, we'll get another chance. I have a feeling we're gonna get another chance here, so we'll have to keep in touch with Wayne. I bet Wayne can hook us up again.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm
Oh
thinking
my.
cheese balls.
Doug McCauley, cheese walls.
It would be cheese balls, but I guess you can't do both words when you're doing
No.
puns. That doesn't work as
Right.
good.
By the way, John Fortune and Pies was already used, believe it or not.
Yeah,
That was actually the first one.
that's the first
The
rule in
first
Dream
pizza joke.
Theater. Dream Theater food puns. You have to make sure you do one that's already been done.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, so it was just a kick-ass weekend. And again, I have to throw out massive thanks to Wayne Joyner, because I mean the hookups that he got me were just and dude, it was for nothing. Like I mean, we're just, I he does amazing work. I'm a big fan of that. And I had him on the show to talk about Dream Theater a couple times. And then, he's a huge Dimebag Daryl fan of Pantera. So I've had him on to do some Pantera deep dives and whatnot. And I mean, that guy didn't owe me anything. And instead he hooked me up with this ungodly weekend. It was just like, I cannot thank him enough.
So quick question. Now that
Sure.
you're riding this high and James is sounding better than ever, and there seems to be a new energy back in the band. We kind of said before maybe one more album, or we didn't. I don't even know if we knew that after this. Now, are we now saying feet to the fire, your house, you're literally betting your house? Are we getting 2 more full albums, or a minimum of 1 more at least?
At least one.
Yeah, I think at least 1 too, which I don't know that I
Yeah.
necessarily thought that before.
Yeah, that's happening for sure.
Okay, you already have the insight on that, huh?
Yeah, that's happening for sure.
Okay.
Beyond that, I'm not sure. And I think as everyone says, it's, I mean, Jordan's older than these guys. So, I think he's 70 already. So, I mean, by the time, they go through another album cycle and tour cycle, he's going to be mid 70s, at least like 73, 74. So, I mean, how much longer does the guy want to do it? So, Chris Moran, have John Petrucci on the podcast sometime, John, please. Well, believe me, man, I'm going to try. It's a lot more difficult than you would think it is. So, a lot more difficult than you think it is. But believe me, if I can, I definitely will. So, but all right, man. Well, there we go. Dream Theater trip. And what is our schedule coming up here? Because I know that we're off for the Thanksgiving holiday. So yeah, our next show is on the 13th of November. So November 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be right back here at all of our usual locations. And then after that,
it's going to be a special secret surprise episode, which is code for there's a slight chance we don't know yet what we're doing.
Isn't that every episode?
Ever so slight. It's just real slim.
Yeah, we got to figure out what we're doing with after that, because with the fan hangout being on the 19th, there's going to be kind of a lull there. So we gotta see what we're doing, because
we'll figure out something.
after that's New Year's Day. So the schedule might be a little wonky going forward here, guys, but we're gonna do what we can to keep doing normal content. So Johan, you're cool, man. It says, I'll always remember 13th of November. Amy Widenhouse, great to talk to you, by the way. Thanks for tuning into the show. She says, you can get John by then, no problem. I have to admit, man, I have thought about seeing if Wayne would text one of the guys and say, hey, you jump on the fan hangout a little bit. Like, that's a very long shot, but I think it might be better to save that for an actual episode, but you never know.
I think people don't realize too. It's like, okay, we have this in now, but you don't want to be the douchey, like bothering the guy. And
like,
yeah. Like, it's always like, it's such a fine line, like, and I'm sure you like, we could get, next time you and I hang, we'll get drunk. We'll just say, fuck it. We'll text Dwayne, like, okay, what does it take to get Petrucci on the show? And he probably would have him on the show like in 3 weeks, but
yeah,
you still don't want to necessarily just play that card. It's better just to kind of wait and just feel it out. I think it's gonna happen. I'm pretty confident.
Well, and that's one of the things, I did mention to Wayne, because he was, he was just so nice and offering this and offering that, whatnot. And, and I told him, I was like, yeah, but I don't want to be a dick. Like, I have friends that work in the music industry, as well as you do. And I know that like the quickest way to really piss someone off is to say, hey man, and abuse the quote unquote hookup. Like, you don't ask. What's that old joke that we always use as musicians? Like, you can tell the professionals from the non-professionals because the non-professionals ask to get on your stage.
You're right.
Whereas you have to invite the professionals to get up there.
Right.
So that's kind of like an actual thing where, yeah, I'm definitely, I'm not. I mean, of course, I'm going to talk to Wayne about it. Like, hey, if I want to get Petrucci on, like, what do we do here? I know you talked to him. Like, can you shoot him a text and kind of put a bug in his ear? But it's not going to be like every week. Like, hey, can you talk to John? Hey, can you tell about our show? Like, dude, that's just stupid.
Right.
So. But all right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Talking Into Infinity, a Dream Theater centric podcast. As I mentioned, we will be right back here on Thursday, November 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Topic to be determined. And once again, guys, do not forget, if you would like to co-host the annual fan hangout with Brian and I, come up on screen with us. And again, it's a free form discussion about anything musical you guys want to get into. That is on Friday, December 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. You could just shoot us an email at talkingintoinfinity@gmail.com, or you can send us a direct message through our Facebook page. Just look up Talking Into Infinity. Brian, make sure to check that for me, because I'm terrible. I never see the messages pop up. So you keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on the email. So
I'll do that.
So, yeah. So we've got Aaron Taft coming on so far. We got our very good friends Chastity Crawley and Sean Faust. I believe Cale McLeish will be making an appearance. Yeah, Cale's coming up. John Ronis says he's coming on. So let's do that. John, shoot me an email, man. talkingintoinfinity@gmail.com, because I'm keeping a list so that I can make sure I get to everybody. So, but yeah, Friday, December 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time will be the annual fan hangout. Before anybody asks, I think you know the answer. Yes, I will be drinking Gorilla Farts. It wouldn't be a fan hangout without Gorilla Farts. So, yeah, it's always a great time. So hope to see a bunch of you guys there. And Brian, thanks for letting me pontificate about my awesome Dream Theater weekend here tonight. I appreciate you, man.
It was fun, man.
Yep. All right. Well, have a good gig. I'm trying to come up with some songs for our new project that we're doing together, which we'll talk about on future shows as it comes together. But yeah, appreciate all you guys in the chat for tuning in tonight. Hopefully you guys had a good time. And again, we'll see you right back here on all of our fine locations on Thursday, November 13th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, guys, he is Brian. I am John. And as always, especially now with them having done a change of seasons a bunch of times, Carpe Diem.